Today as Lieutenant Governor, and it is my official responsibility and duty to hereby nominate for the office of Governor of the State of New Mexico, the Honorable Suzana Martinez.
I wanted a couple of minutes because I wanted to tell a story. 4 years ago when I was here at the convention, I brought my sister who was recently I was made her legal guardian. And she's special needs. And she saw all the stickers and she loved the excitement and she thought the party was for her. So she was mingling and constantly getting away from me and I had to keep chasing her to make sure where she was. And she walked up to Alan Way's wife. And Alan Way's wife had a sticker, and it said Alan Way. So she knew it didn't have my name. She doesn't read, but she recognized it was not my name. So she walks up to Mrs. Way and says, how come you're not voting for my sister? And she said, because he's my husband. And my sister said, so? And Mrs. Way very graciously was very sweet to her, and I appreciate that you were very kind to her. She told me that story, and I quickly went and grabbed her. I'd like to thank all of our great Republican state legislators, and can I get all of our legislators to please stand up, because you are the ones that have helped me make this year and every year possible. And have a great gentleman who supports me every single day in everything that I do. Let's do it for John Sanchez, our great Lieutenant Governor.
Yes!
Woo! 4 years ago, I came to the convention and asked many of you to take a chance on me. I promised that if you stood with me, together we would put an end to the Richardson-Dennis administration. I sure miss saying that. 4 years ago, many thought this race was unwinnable. Couldn't be done, they said. But together, we took our state back. You know, we eliminated the largest structural deficit in the history of our state, and we did it without raising taxes. Actually, we cut taxes from the bloated state government, enacted historic pension reforms, and yes, we sold that luxury jet. And in fact, we've sold 5 airplanes. We've also cut taxes 19 different times in my administration. As I've always said, government doesn't create jobs. Small businesses do. But government can create an environment where businesses can grow. For too long, New Mexico was known as a high-tax state, unfriendly to business. Well, we changed that. In a bipartisan manner, we passed historic tax reform. We cut the business tax by 22% here in New Mexico. Just recently, Ernst & Young rated New Mexico's tax climate for manufacturing #1 in the West. As being #1. Well, I've got many other examples. Our reforms have boosted our exports. We went from 38th in the nation in export growth to #1 in the nation in export growth in just 2 years. In education, we took on the big unions and fought to improve our schools for the benefit of our kids. We received a waiver from the federal government regulations. That gets us out of the one-size-fits-all approach from Washington. so we can enact our own reforms. And those reforms are working. Graduation rates are at an all-time high. Our Hispanic students here in New Mexico are now #1 in the nation in AP test taking. Our children in New Mexico in poverty are now #2 in the United States in advanced placement test taking. Can you imagine where we have come? New Mexico is too reliant on federal spending. That's why the national recession and dysfunction in D.C. hurts our state so much. We must create an economy that is as diverse as our state, and that means continuing to grow the private sector and helping small businesses grow, which are the backbone of our nation. We must build on our education reforms, including ensuring children have mastered the basics, like reading, before we pass them on to the next grade. And yes, we must finally repeal that very dangerous law that gives driver's licenses to undocumented. I will not give up on that. This election won't be easy, not mine and not John's race, not anyone's race. And the only way we can win is if we remain united. We must be united in this fight. Then we can win races up and down the ballot, from Congress, the judicial races, and all the way to the Attorney General of New Mexico. And for the first time since 1954, Republicans can have a majority in the New Mexico State House. No election is given, and no vote can be taken for granted. Let's stand together, and let's win this up and down the ballot.